Hi folks, we're gonna do another episode of Travels with Tracy, and bear with me for a sec while I put you guys on the holder. Okay, we are currently in Dayton, Ohio, and we're going to be driving into Indiana on US 40, which is that national road that I was telling you about that starts in Cumberland, Maryland and goes to Vandalia, Illinois. It was the first federally funded activity. Thomas Jefferson decided that the new country needed to unify a little bit, and the government needed to be responsible for making that happen, or at least be a role model. So he funded the national road, and without it there wouldn't be any highways or freeways or anything like that across the country. This was the first cross-country designated path. There, of course, were paths, but none of them were sort of unified with one name and kind of one pathway. Until then, everybody kind of had their own little spaces and little pathways through their land, and sometimes you could go through them, sometimes you couldn't. So this kind of made everything a standard. Oh, hang on. This kind of made a standard of travel. So people could get on 40 and know that they would end up in wherever they were headed. We're on Ohio 48 at the moment. Oddly enough, 48 turns into 40. Well, it sort of runs into 40. It's it goes sort of northwest, so it's sort of east and west for the even number east and west routes, but it's sort of a northwest more than a west directly. But so we're starting to drive into the outer edges of Dayton, into the town of Inglewood. And I hope it's not too dark. It's just sort of dusk, but as you can tell, there's some clouds. I hope it's going to be a nice sunset for us. It should be really pretty if it goes well. Some really pretty kind of wispy little clouds up there. Some history in this part of Ohio, and I'll be honest, I don't know if it goes all the way down here to the outskirts of Dayton, but north of us by about 45 minutes, that was a part of Native American land, and it was granted to the U.S. through the Greenville Treaty, and that basically opened up the area to Indiana and Illinois and all of that to become U.S. states, well, territories, and then states. Also up in the Greenville area, Annie Oakley, the famous Western cowgirl, was born and raised. She perfected her shooting up there, and she and her family are buried in a small cemetery up there in Greenville. Maybe we'll go up there and see her sometime. It's kind of a neat little place. So we are now in Clayton, Ohio. And soon we'll be in Inglewood. Sorry, I forgot Clayton was in between. It's a nice, easy drive. Kind of doing the road trip thing. Sorry, I'm a little quiet. There's not a whole lot to say in this area. But we're going to come up to Inglewood soon. A little bit of information about that city. And we will be on US 40 in just a few moments. Hope you guys are enjoying these. If you are, please hit the like button and please share. I would love to get 100 subscribers, because if I get 100 subscribers, I can do live, and I'm going to go to Disney World in a few months, and I would love to be able to do a YouTube live stream from Disney World. I think that would be super, super fun. But I can't do that unless I have 100 subscribers. So please subscribe, please share. Alrighty, we're now in Inglewood. And Inglewood has a beautiful arboretum. Oh, excuse me. That actually 40 goes through that arboretum kind of on a dam. And it goes all the way over to Dayton Airport and beyond, of course. It goes all the way to Maryland. But it's a super easy way to get to Dayton Airport. I hear more sirens, but I don't know where they're coming from. Oh, okay, I saw. They were up that street and going the other direction, so not gonna impact us, which is good. Alright, and can see the signs on the side of the road on the right, but this stoplight up here, see that white vehicle is turning off of Highway 40, or US 40. So we are now on 40. Enjoy seeing road trips that other streamers do, so, or other vloggers. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. Like I said, at some point we'll have to go over to Greenville and go to Annie Oakley's grave spot. A lot of really neat history in this area. In the little Ohio, Indiana border town of Fountain City is where Levi Coffin House is. Sort of known as like the Grand Central Station of the Underground Railroad, with Mr. Coffin and his wife assisting thousands of slaves in getting up through the Midwest to get to Canada to freedom. Harriet Tubman was involved with them as well. And it's a great house, wonderful new visitor center. I was honestly a little bit worried. I thought it was going to be kind of modern looking, but they blended it really well. So that's cool. I also have to go around and show you. We have several round barns, which, as odd as it sounds, is exactly what it's said, or exactly what it is, excuse me. It's a circular barn. It was kind of a fad for a little bit, I guess. I don't really know that much about them. I'll have to do some research on that and get back with you. I'm intrigued by it. I think it would be very hard to build. You know, normally with barns, you build 4 walls and then you raise up 2 of them, or 1 or whatever, and then you connect them. But if it's round, you don't really have that ability. So I don't know. I'm assuming they built it from the ground up, like in layers on top of each other. Not really sure. I'll have to explore that. But we have several of them in northeast, well, northern part of east central Indiana. And they're really beautiful. And most of them are still in use, which I love. They haven't discarded them. Pretty old farmhouses in this area. Once again, this is National Road, or 40, US 40. So a lot of these homes have been here since the 1800s. There's also a lot of new builds. love this little relaxing stretch of road. Everybody takes the freeway, so nobody really remembers about Highway 40, and therefore it's usually super light traffic. And it pretty much goes everywhere across Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. I think it turns down into Maryland from there. I think. Not really sure. But all across the states that it covers, it's very underutilized. And therefore, traffic is usually extremely light, and the speed limit is 60, 65. So it's almost like you're on the highway. You do go through the small towns, but I love that little town charm. I really do. And I'd much rather see that than semis and billboards and all that kind of craziness. I love seeing the small stores and buildings that used to be taverns and inns and stuff of that nature. There's just so much more character, and you can almost feel the stories that they tell. Of the town of Inglewood, obviously. I just realized that was the road to take to Sonic. Yay, Sonic. If you guys have never been to a Sonic and you have the opportunity to go at least once. Yes, it's fast food, and yes, it's not healthy, but one time, go get like an ice cream slushie, or their tater tots are really good. They have chili cheese tater tots. I know, it's terrible for your health, but a small one once is not going to hurt. And they bring it out to your car. You park and press the little button in order, and they have the little car hops. Sometimes they are on roller skates, sometimes not. They also have a drive-through, and they also have a walk-up counter that you can go to. So you should give Sonic a try. It's really, really delicious. This just being in the middle of nowhere with just space. There's not people or traffic or cars or buildings. It's just space. Really, really like that. I feel like I can breathe. There's not this constant pulsing energy that I know really energizes some folks, but it kind of wears me out. I don't know. I feel more energized by spaces like this. Watch the whole thing, or might not watch it at all, and that's fine. I just thought we might do a little bit of a road trip. I was heading this direction anyway, and thought, well, hey, I'll show you guys what Western Ohio looks like. Because it's part of small town America that most folks don't really see unless you live here, and then you know what it's all about. It's just little farmhouses on acres and acres of land. Got corn growing over there. It's funny, I don't know if you guys remember the old Facebook game Farmville, but there's a farm coming up here in a little bit that I swear looks like the ultimate Farmville farm. It's fantastic. If that was still a thing, or if this was a good 10 years ago, or whenever that was, I would so want to copy this for my Farmville farm. Town of Arlington. It's got one cross street and no stoplights, so it's not even a one stoplight town. It's a no stoplight town. Beautiful cemetery on both sides of the road here. Excuse me. Well, okay, I don't know if you guys can see the windmills to the left. It might be kind of hard. As I get closer, maybe you can see more, but that is my Farmville farm. Or what I wish would have been my Farmville farm. Just a simply amazing layout. Here it is on the left, coming up in just a little bit. There you go. Maybe you can make out the windmills now. It's got all the little white buildings and the little farmstead and the grain silos. It's perfect. Just perfect. Alrighty, we're now entering the town of Bachman, Ohio. Probably population, I'd say definitely under 500, but not very much, not very many. That was Bachman. Got some fairly tall corn here. Sorry that the holder is kind of in the middle of the shot. I'm going to try to fix that in the next little bit. I'm not sure how to fix it, but I'll play around a little bit with the phone and the holder and see what I can do. I'm thinking maybe if I turn the holder upside down, then what is on the bottom of the phone right now will be on the top, and what is on the top will be on the bottom, so the holder will be on the bottom, and therefore not in the camera view. I doubt that made any sense, but anyway, long story short, I'm going to give it a try. Sign for West National Road. I know that my friend Roger at Discover the Magic has been taking all of us magic discoverers out on Clearwater Beach and showing us some of the beautiful beaches and shoreline in that area, and it's very relaxing and beautiful, and I hope that at least some of you find this relaxing and beautiful as well. I love this drive. This drive and driving from the Indiana-Ohio border to Indianapolis are pretty much two of my favorites. Driving north and south is also pretty nice, although it doesn't have all the historic connections that US 40 does. Once again, this was a pioneer pathway, covered wagons and that whole time frame, as well as a soldier pathway. They would use this path to move soldiers back and forth from the east and the west over towards Virginia and Washington. So it's got a great history, and it was used as a Native American trace or trail even prior to that. So it has hundreds, maybe thousands of years of living things traveling over this pathway. And I know it sounds corny, but you can almost feel it. You almost feel connected to all that energy that has gone before you on this pathway. When you think about its history, it's kind of hard to not feel humbled by the fact that you've got the opportunity to be on the same road. We're coming into the town of Lewisburg, Ohio. This is a border town with Indiana. Well, sort of a border town. Lewisburg is a little bit bigger. So as you can see, it does have a stoplight. It also has a police station. And a restaurant, and I think a few factories. A lot of people out walking around in the beautiful weather. It's about 73 degrees. Very little humidity today for summertime in Indiana. It's wonderfully beautiful evening to be out, and people are outside enjoying it. And the thing that I love the most is kids are outside enjoying it. They're riding bikes and playing hopscotch and stuff that kids don't do anymore, and they really should. So it always makes me feel good to see kids outside playing instead of on video games or stuff like that. And yes, I know the irony of posting this on YouTube and then saying the kids shouldn't be watching screens, but you know what I mean, extensively. They should do a mixture of both. Like my grandmother always said, it's about portion. It's about, you know, you can do a little bit of everything, but not a whole lot of one thing. as much as I do about Indiana. Oh, looks like we have a bicyclist. Slow down so I don't meet him on the hill here. Thank you. Oh, okay, no, he's a little scooter, which is legal on this road because it's not a freeway. It's actually a really common biking road. People bike across the country and will use this road for a large stretch of it because it's flat and it's fairly, like I said before, fairly untraveled. So there's not a whole lot of traffic for the bikes to have to deal with. So it makes it nice for them. Sometimes it gets a little hairy because literally there can be 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 bikes in a pack. And boy, I admire them for doing it, but man, if you get stuck behind one of those packs, you cannot get around them. So you're stuck going bicycling speed. So when when it's that time frame, usually late spring to late fall, you kind of have to allow extra time if you're taking this road for any extensive purposes, like any appointments or anything that are time sensitive, because that's one of the downfalls. You kind of don't know what you're going to run into. Another thing on this road that comes up is farm vehicles. A lot of farm vehicles, because you can see this goes out into the farmlands, and so you can be behind a tractor, you can be behind a discer, you can be behind a combine, and bless those folks for doing what they do, but those machines do not travel very quickly, and sometimes they're wider than the lanes. So it's difficult and sometimes dangerous to pass them. I know that none of you care about that because you're not on this road, but just saying.